All right, so with how expensive everything in the world is, fishing lures are only getting even more expensive. They're not getting cheaper. So what I wanted to do in today's video is come to you guys and build a complete tackle box for only $20. All you need is a $20 bill and you'll be ready to fish as long as you have a rod, reel, and line, of course. So I just want to start by saying a lot of this stuff that I'm going to recommend to you guys, I actually don't have on me. I have the equivalent, which is, you know, better stuff. But so the first thing you're going to need is obviously a tackle box. I'm assuming most of you have that. If you're a fisherman, you're gonna have a tackle box. So the first thing and the most versatile thing I'm gonna recommend is obviously a Senko. These are Yum Dingers. They're about $4 a pack. You can fish these a variety of ways. They're really good for when the bite's tough. You can fish them as a wacky worm. You can fish them as a weightless Texas rig. You can fish them as a Texas rig with a bullet weight. And yeah, so they're super versatile. Like I said, they go for about $4 a pack. This is the green pumpkin colorway, which is the color that I'll recommend everybody to use because it's the most versatile colorway. You can use it for pretty much any scenario that you're in. You know, if you're in clear water, if you're in murky water, if you're in super gross water. So yeah, that's that. We'll throw this. We'll try to fit this in here somewhere. We'll just stick it right there. So now that I showed you guys the Yum Dingers or the Senkos, what you're gonna need is obviously some hooks. And I'm not gonna have the totals. I'm not gonna add up the total as I go. I'll have that all in the video. I'll probably put it like right here for you guys. So as we go, the total will be right here. So the next thing you're gonna need is some offset worm hooks. And these are really good because they're super cheap. They're like $1.50 a pack for the Ozark Trail ones. Like I said, the screenshot will be on the right over here. So you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about, but these are them. They're a little different from an EWG hook. The actual point of the hook doesn't come straight down. It's a little bit up from where you tie your line to. These lead to a lot better hookup ratio. And like I said, you get like 4 or 5 of them in a pack for like $1.50. So they're super cheap. I've used them a bunch and they don't bend out. So you're going to want to grab a pack of these. These are the 2/0. They're pretty versatile to use for, you know, whatever soft plastic you want to use when you're throwing a Texas rig. So next, what you're going to want to buy is some finesse hooks or wacky hooks, people call them. They're also known as octopus hooks. You can get a pack of Gamakatsu ones for like $4 or so. I haven't found any that are really cheaper, but you don't want to go super cheap with your wacky hooks just because they'll bend out super easily, because obviously when a fish bites it and you hook up, you're gonna obviously be pulling up, so you don't want those hooks to bend out super easily. But it's really simple. You just stick this through the middle of the Senko and you're all set. So the next thing you're gonna need is bullet weights. Like I said earlier, for the Texas rigs, you're gonna need some kind of bullet weight. If you're throwing a regular Texas rig, you can obviously throw this weightless as well. I prefer to put a bullet weight on there just because you can punch it through thick grass. It's a lot easier to work than just using a weightless. Some people prefer weightless. I prefer casting distance of having a bullet weight on it and then obviously being able to punch it through grass. So these are 3/16 ounce weights. You can get a pack of these for about $2. I'm just going to show you these two. These are 3/16 ounce, really good all around weight. Obviously you won't be able to punch it through grass like a 1 ounce, you know, bullet weight, but it works for what you need it to. They're super cheap, and yeah, that'll get you started with Texas rigs. So the next is any kind of spinner bait. This one is a Strike King Promo. This one's about $1.24. I actually recommend these to a lot of people just because they're so cheap and they work so well. I mean, people have been using these for so many years, and you know, they hold up and they're only $1.24 a piece. You can throw them with a trailer on it. You can throw them without a trailer. I usually throw them without a trailer just because you don't really need them. The water up here is super clear, so we don't need those big silhouettes. You can fish these really slow in early spring. You can fish them really fast when the water warms up just to try to get a reaction bite. But these are really good all around lure. Really good for when it's windy as well, and just covering water in general. So the next thing we're gonna go with is a classic. People have been using these for way more years than I've even been alive. You know, this goes back probably 50, 60, 70 years, if I had to guess. I don't know the exact timeline on that, but this is a rooster tail. You can use pretty much any color you want. Bass eat these, trout eat these. Pretty much every species will eat a rooster tail, and it's probably the most versatile lure for multi-species as you can get. This one you can get for about $1.48, so super cheap. You have a lure that you can just tie on, don't have to think too much of it. You can just throw it out, straight retrieve it back, and you're sure to get on any bass. So the next lure that we have is a square bill crankbait. This is the Berkley Fritside 5 Junior. This is not the one I'll be recommending to you guys. I always recommend it if you can afford it, because the Fritside 5 is probably the biggest numbers lure that I've ever used. You know, you can catch a ton of fish on this thing. You know, when the bite's hard, it doesn't matter. Just throw this out, straight retrieve it back, or even jerk it, work it like a jerk bait. You can work it so many different ways and you're just gonna get on tons and tons of bass. This one's really good for if you're trying to cover water fast, just go for a reaction strike. There's so many different ones that you can buy. And I believe the Ozark Trail ones from Walmart, they're not bad either. And they only go for like $2.78, I think they are, maybe $3. So you can throw these out, super versatile. You can fish it on the top of the water column, you can fish it deep, and yeah, it'll work out really good for you. So I didn't recommend a jerkbait just because a lot of people don't know how to actually work a jerkbait, but in the springtime, it's super easy to get on bass when you work a jerkbait, especially from a boat. It's a lot harder from the shore because it's hard to work a jerkbait in general, just because most people don't know how to do it. You obviously got to twitch, pause. There's a couple other techniques that a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people just can't get it down. So I didn't put a jerkbait in this lineup today, but the next lure that we have is actually, a lot of people call them a rattle trap. It's just a rattling lipless crankbait pretty much. These work really good for covering water. They're pretty much the same thing as a crankbait. They just work higher in the water column, so you won't have to worry about them getting stuck at the bottom off anything. If you're fishing really shallow, you can keep your rod tip up and they'll always stay higher in the water column. And another really good lure for catching big bass when the bite's tough, especially if you go a small one like this. This is a 1/4 ounce, so it's not very big, you know, it's maybe 2.5 inches. This is a Rapala one, but I will put one on the screen for you guys that I recommend that you can get up for super cheap. So I just showed you a bunch of stuff that you can use to catch bass with just a $20 bill. You don't need much. As long as you have a rod and reel, you have line, and you have a tackle box, you can pick all this stuff up, take it out to the water, and you can get on bass for just a $20 bill. You can't beat that. A lot of people say, oh, stay away from this, stay away from this. You want to get experience with the cheap stuff. You don't want to go out there and throw, you know, a $50 glide bait, get it snagged, lose it, and then it's going to make you want to stop fishing. You want to go in with cheap stuff when you're learning how to fish. And if you're not learning how to fish, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can just throw this in a backpack, go fish for a couple hours, not have to worry about if you get snagged or lose something, because like I said, all this stuff is $20. So if you lost something, you'd be losing like $1.50. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys want any more types of videos in the comments, and I'll make that for you guys. We're gonna have some more fishing content soon, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to post another video. It's been super busy around here for me, but yeah, let me know if you guys want to see anything in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.